Hey guys, so I'm sitting here doing research for Newswave. Now, a lot of you guys don't see it. Most time throughout the day, I am researching for Newswave, whether it be stories or information on stories I'm looking at, different things to kind of put together for Newswave later on that night. Now, I came across something that was really interesting to me. I wouldn't really talk about this, but it is trending big time on N4G, right on the front page somehow. I don't know how, and it's just a really dumb story that is being run, and I can't figure out why. Okay, I should take that back. I do know why. It's because they've molded and shaped the title to be interesting enough to click on or to comment on without even reading the article. So here we go. This is the current state of N4G right now. You'll see right at the top left, it says, new Nintendo Switch branded SD cards cost 3 times more than normal ones. And again, I really wouldn't care that much, except if you actually go to the site that is reporting it, guess who it is? Just take a guess. It's Forbes.com. How is Forbes reporting misinformation? I'll tell you how. They've been doing it for a long time now, especially with the Switch. I don't know what it is about the Switch, but Forbes just will report just some of the dumbest stuff as news. They've even gone as far as to take people's mock-ups on Reddit. So if you've ever been on the Reddit forums, you'll see that people do some really cool like artwork mock-up stuff where they will make like a Legend of Zelda Switch. And N4G, you've seen them too, but people will take these mock-ups and use them in their articles, especially on Forbes. It's interesting. I see it on other websites, not as big of a deal, but Forbes is a large entity, obviously. It's a big website, a big brand, and here they go spouting off just really bad information for clicks. So this is kind of an impromptu video, and I have done enough research to make this video and explain to you guys what's happening, and it took me about 5 minutes to do that research because I guess these people weren't able to do it. What's funny, though, is they decided to publish this article. And I assume after they published it, then they wanted to do research. Because from what I can tell with news right now, if you're not first, you're last. And that's just the mentality they're taking here. I assume they figured out or they saw this on the Amazon. Yes, the Amazon Japanese site. And decided to post it. So they're not even talking about you buying it from Nintendo themselves. They are trying to shape it as you buying it from Ori or Nintendo. But what's happening is the prices are being marked up by third-party sellers. Big shocker, right? Third-party sellers buying them out, making them sell out from Nintendo or Ori or whoever, and then reselling it. We've seen that a million times, guys. NES Classic, the Switch is happening. The PS2, the PS3, the Wii, the 360, all these systems, when they sell out, people take them and then resell them either online or Craigslist. It's happened. It happens all the time. It happened real bad with PS2 memory cards back in the day. I've talked about that before, but that was a really bad time. And here we go now with these SD cards. And in this article, they kind of paint the picture that Nintendo and Ori are ripping us off with these SD cards. First of all, guys, we don't have to buy these SD cards. Even if this article is completely true, most of us will just look at it and say, well, I'm just going to go buy the SanDisk, or I'm just going to go buy the Samsung SD card and I'll be fine. But in this case, they seem to be painting a picture that Nintendo and Ori are doing this, and the prices they give in their article aren't even the correct prices anymore. They've been lowered since then. So great. Well, here's the ones they give us. They say that the SD card, a 32 gig SD card on the Amazon Japanese site, was going for 7,900 yen, which is equivalent to around $70 US. Is that expensive for an SD card? Yes, it is. I would not buy that SD card. I would not tell you to buy that SD card, but these sellers are going to lower them because we're not buying these things. I assume because it says Nintendo Switch on it, they thought, hey, let's buy them out from Nintendo and Ori in Japan and then just resell them because it has the Switch logo on it. Some people who are completionists may want that, but it didn't work, obviously, because they're already lowering their prices, so there you go. And they also talk about the 16 gig card being 4,480 yen, which is right around $40 for the US, also very expensive. However, if we actually jump over to Nintendo's site, if this person had actually looked at the site before they put this link and this article up, their whole article, there's no point in even posting it. Now, I'll leave a link for you guys down below in the description so you can check out for yourself. But what Nintendo and Ori actually have on their main site, their actual site, not an Amazon third-party seller, is they have the 16 gig card going for 1,980 yen, which roughly translates to about $17.50 for the US. Is that more expensive than another 16 gig card? Yes, it is, but it's not tremendously expensive. For example, at Walmart, they're about $15 or so. So that's about $2.50 difference, and it does have the Nintendo Switch brand on there. And trust me, guys, branding accessories is more expensive for companies because there are now two people on it. Ori is making them. Nintendo's name is on them. So now both companies are trying to get money from it. This is no secret. Back in the day, Microsoft had their hard drive that was a 20 gig hard drive. It was like $100. So it's not new. I think at the time, Nvidia had some very weird licensing, and that's why the original Xbox needed a hard drive to be backwards compatible with the 360. And they kind of knew that as it came backwards compatible, you need a hard drive. So it was very easy to sell these things at a very high rate. Although a 20 gig hard drive, I don't really know how you can spin that for $100, but they managed to because everyone bought it. Oh, and just to complete everything, a 32 gig card on the Ori site with Nintendo is 3,480 yen, which is equivalent to a little over $30 total. And yes, that's still more expensive than some of the SD cards I showed you before, guys, because some of the ones I showed you at 40 bucks get you much more space. But again, licensing, all that stuff, and really that's not out of the crazy, amounts of money you could spend on things like Vita cards. $30 for a licensed SD card that is designed for the system with read-write speeds. You know what? It could be worse. I will say that. Now they have an audience. Moms will buy it for the no fuss, just get the SD card, give it to your kid. You're good. You don't have to worry about read-write speeds or anything like that. Classes with like class 10s or UH1s, all that stuff. You don't have to worry about it. But for most of us who understand this, we're going to buy it. We know we want a 128 gig SD card for like 40 or 50 bucks. More obviously if you want to get the higher read-write speeds like I was getting, but you don't need to buy this. This whole article it makes no sense. Now, I'm sure the person who wrote this article, their name is Paul Tassi. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure, but you need to research before you write an article, especially if you're trying to paint the picture that Nintendo and Ori are ripping people off. Now, this is not Forbes' first endeavor with this. They've done this a lot in the past with other systems, not just the Switch. And really, they just need to look at their contributors because they even have a thing under the person's name that says opinions expressed by Forbes contributors are their own. And I think Forbes thinks that, we can just have these freelancers write for us, put it on our site, as long as we put that little disclaimer down there. We're not liable for any of it. Well, you know what? It's your site. This article, as of right now that I am recording this, has over 60,000 views. Those are all the people that are coming here, getting misinformation, and then leaving, because there was another poll I looked at a long time ago, a statistic. This is first when news started showing up as fake news, saying that something like 20% of people are the ones that actually read the articles. The other 80% read the headlines and then form their opinions from that and move on, which is crazy because if they didn't even change this headline. All they said was update. Really, it says Nintendo Switch branded SD cards cost more than normal ones. And if you go on like N4G, it's like, cost 3 to 4 times more. You could have changed this entire thing and made it. You didn't even need this article. I'm starting to ramble now. This article just has me really annoyed and frustrated because I try to at least make things like Newswave as much the tea as I can, as legitimate as possible, and then you have people like these that are writing articles that make no sense to be online and get over 60,000 views. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. Just a quick impromptu video. I got done I got done TechWave. I was doing some research for Newswave, come across this article. I just thought I'd put this video out because it is trending on N4G, which means everybody's reading it, forming their opinions. Of course, wouldn't you know it, there's a lot of Nintendo hate right away on there, so I thought I'd just put this video out, kind of set the whole thing straight. No, it's not Nintendo and Ori ripping people off. It's third-party scalpers who do that for everything. It's not new. But that's it for today, guys. I'll see you next time.